Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and today I have Spitfire's BBC Symphony Orchestra Piano. It's a beautiful Steinway D recorded right at Maida Vale Studios in the same space and in the sort of the same configuration microphone wise that they recorded the BBC Symphony Orchestra. And that means that the piano itself sits in the space in just a really effective way. Is it going to be good enough to integrate with the symphony? Or will it sound like everybody's in the same room? That's the big question. That's the big question, right? That's the problem with integrating your favorite piano library with your favorite orchestral library. They just don't sound like they're together. How does this sound? How does it sound? Let's find out. Okay, I'm a little worked up about this, right? But it is a huge issue, and I'll just say this: sample libraries save my life, and they're a big part of my professional life. But I sort of hate them because when you are working with an actual group of musicians, there's something about the space and the feeling of the integration of all the instruments creates a new level, a kind of a special meta organizational energy, which is musical and sonic, and dare I say it, kind of like beyond the beyond. Well, one of the problems I have as a pianist, because I love to write piano parts with orchestra, is integrating the sound of my favorite libraries or piano plugins. I like Piano Tech, which is not really a library, into sampled orchestra or sampled ensembles of any kind. They don't gel. I think this gels. I think it gels. You'll be the judge of it. I've written a longish piece of music. It's like a minute and a half or so using the piano. Let's listen to it. Then we'll talk about what's going on. Well, just so that you can see it, this is what the front end of the library looks like, and it's pared down, right? I got the pro version, and so you've got just a ton of microphone positions, but I'm just using their mixes, and you get two mixes if you buy the core version, which is a lot less expensive, and it's similar to what you might get in the Discovery, which is even more pared back. But we'll be playing with just this mix one because I want you to get a sense of what it might be like if you have a core system. I will say that I did go ahead and use some soloists from the pro version in this track that we're about to hear. Let's run the track. It's bunch of tracks. And if you're looking at this window here, this is just standard orchestral score layout. I got the woodwinds on top, horns, brass, bunch of percussion, as it should be, piano in the middle. This big yellow thing is in the middle, and then strings at the bottom. And I've got violins 1 and 2, viola, cello, double basses, as well as the soloists. The soloists come in at the end. So this is essentially a propulsive epic track. It begins with the piano functioning as a part of the percussion section, basically, and then a little more soloistic at the back end. Let's listen. What did you think? Did you think the piano sounded like it was in the room with the orchestra? There's a standard position for the piano in piano concertos, which is the piano kind of like in the front of the ensemble. And so a bunch of the mic positions, like the decatry or the sort of side mics that you might have for an orchestra, are going to have a very special perspective on the sound of the piano. The decatry itself, which is a very important sort of orchestral mic position, is picking up a good deal of the piano. But check this out. You've got options to, and if you look down below here, you can see the names of these mic positions. So watch as I hover. Here's the decatry right above the conductor's head. And then we've got a wide outriggers and ambiances, super useful. And then just the ribbon mic over the conductor's head is like a classic old school 50s sound. You got to admire the fact that they dropped that in for us. Super wide sides and very far away balcony. Plus, and I was playing around with this earlier, in the Pro version, we've got these close hammer mics and ribbon mics. We can get a very intimate sound. There is reverb, and just the big knob, as always, in Spitfire gives you some control over it. I'm using a little bit of the reverb. It's an impulse response from the studio itself. Pulls things together quite a bit. And that's pretty much the only reverb I'm using. A couple of the instruments, I gave them some reverb. This is a very beautiful piano sound just by itself. It's cinematic. It feels narrative, doesn't it? There's the sense of the space and the sense of the piano existing within the context of a larger ensemble. It's not that emotional, intimate piano that is so breathless that people use these days. It feels grander in a great way. If you want an even more in-depth listen and look at things, Paul Thompson has done a great playthrough of 4 different styles of music using 4 different mixes. And that's, strictly speaking, you just have to have the Pro version to do that kind of thing with it. Well, I wanted you to hear it, and I wanted you to get, just an impression from me. You'll make your own decisions about whether this is something that you need for your own work. Do you need another piano library? If you're like me, you already have a dozen that you pick and choose from. But I think piano libraries are kind of like guitars. Everyone is different. That's what I tell my partner. I have to get another piano library. I'm sorry. Well, maybe we'll break down the actual harmony and music of this some other time. And I know some of you might be interested in it because it was super fun to do. I'm just going to let this run one more time, and I'll say goodbye for now. I hope this has been useful. Like and subscribe. Ding the bell. You'll be notified when I do my videos. At least I hope you'll be notified when I do my videos. Apparently, we're having some problems with that. I'll see you next time.